Hello, it's Victor Dedaj. I hope you are having an amazing day so far. Today, I want to go over Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and chapter 3, which is faith. Now, Napoleon Hill says, faith is the head chemist of the mind. And he goes on to say, faith is a state of mind which may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instruction to the subconscious mind through the principle of auto-suggestion. So when we repeat something to the subconscious mind again and again, and you say with a lot of emotion and feeling, the subconscious mind is eventually going to take it in faith. And all you need to do is keep repeating it again and again. He goes on to say, quoting a famous criminologist, when men first come into contact with crime, they abhor it. If they remain in contact with crime for a time, they become accustomed to it and endure it. If they remain in contact with it long enough, they finally embrace it and become influenced by it. So what Napoleon is trying to say is that this is the equivalent of saying that any impulse of thought, which is repeatedly passed on to the subconscious mind, is finally accepted and acted upon by the subconscious mind, which will proceed to translate that impulse into its physical equivalent by the most practical procedure available. So again, you repeat anything with feeling, it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. The subconscious mind will accept it as true and it'll go to work to bring it to its physical equivalent. So you have to be careful what you are saying to your subconscious mind. If you are saying negative stuff to it, a lot of negative emotions, saying, I will never do anything with my life, life is horrible, I will always be poor, I will never meet the right woman or the right man, the subconscious mind will go to work to make sure those things happen to you, that you will never become successful, that you will never meet the right person. If you want to have a different life, you have to feed it good stuff, positive stuff. So you need to change what you are feeding it. Your subconscious mind is like a computer. Your computer only takes in what you feed it. It does not judge what you feed it. The same thing with subconscious mind. So be careful what you feed it. If you feed it garbage, you will get garbage out. If you feel good stuff, you will get good stuff out. So be very careful. And he goes on to say, in connection with this, consider again the statement, all thoughts which have been emotionalized, that is given feeling, and mixed with faith, begin to immediately translate themselves into their physical equivalent or counterpart. Now, he continues by saying there are millions of people who believe themselves doomed to poverty and failure because of some strange force over which they believe they have no control. They are actually the creators of their own misfortunes because of their negative belief, which is picked up by the subconscious mind and translated into its physical equivalent. In other words, all the negative things that they are saying to themselves, the subconscious mind will make it into a self-fulfilling prophecy. They are doomed to fail because of the negative, weak, and thoughts filled of failure that they are sending to their subconscious mind. If they want a different life, they need to change the thoughts that they are sending to the subconscious mind with feeling. And he goes on to say, it is essential for you to encourage the positive emotions as dominating forces for your mind and discourage and eliminate negative emotions, which is what I've been saying. And he goes on to say, a mind dominated by positive emotions becomes a favorable abode for the state of mind known as faith. A mind so dominated may at will give the subconscious mind instructions which it will accept and act upon immediately. And he then goes on to say, faith is the starting point of all accumulation of riches. And Napoleon Hill continues by stating later on in the chapter, it is a well-known fact that one comes finally to believe whatever one repeats to oneself, whether the statement be true or false. If a man repeats a lie over and over, he will eventually accept the lie as truth. Moreover, he will believe it to be the truth. Every man is what he is because of the dominating thoughts which he permits to occupy his mind. Thoughts which a man deliberately places in his own mind and encourages with sympathy, and with which he mixes any or more of the emotions, constitute the motivating forces which direct and control his every movement, act, and deed. And he then ends with a significant truth. Thoughts which are mixed with any of the feelings of emotions constitute a magnetic force which attracts other similar or related thoughts. So the kind of thoughts you have, they eventually become so strong that they will attract similar thoughts as well. So you have a lot of negative thoughts in your mind, you will probably attract a lot of other negative thoughts, and you'll probably attract a lot of negative people around you. You probably have noticed that negative people tend to attract other negative people, and positive people seem to attract a lot of other positive people. There's a reason for that. And then he goes on to say, any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. This is why he asked you to write in an earlier chapter a statement of your major purpose or definite chief aim committed to memory and repeated in audible words day after day until these have reached your subconscious mind. Again, you have to say all these things with emotion, because these words, these phrases, these statements of belief are very powerful. You keep repeating them day after day, in the morning and in the evening, with a lot of feeling and emotion. Your subconscious mind will accept it as fact. It does not judge. And he goes on to say, the subconscious mind makes no distinction between constructive and destructive thought impulses. It works with the material we feed it through our thought impulses. The subconscious mind will translate into reality a thought driven by fear just as readily as it will translate into reality a thought driven by courage or faith. So again, it does not judge what you feed it. If you feed it good stuff, it will bring about good stuff. If you feed it garbage, it will give you back garbage. It's like a computer. It does not judge what you give it. It will just take what you give it. So be very careful what you send to your subconscious mind. And then he goes on to, he gives his long poem, which I'll just quote a couple of verses, which are in line with what he's trying to teach us in this chapter about faith. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win but think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or late, the man who wins is the one who thinks he can. So again, it's really your dominant thoughts will often determine whether you win or not, or whether you succeed or not, or whether you have a happy life or not. Make sure you have positive, happy thoughts. Get rid of the destructive, negative thoughts. It'll make all the difference in your life. And then he goes on to share a couple of stories. One is the story of the faith of Gandhi, who, because of his belief in deep faith, was able to influence 200 million people to move in unison with him in one single mind. And eventually he was able to achieve the independence of India from Great Britain. The other example he gives to conclude the chapter is by sharing the story of Charles Schwab and how he was able to get the United States Steel Corporation invented. Basically, Schwab took an idea, which he created through his imagination. He then mixed faith with his idea. He carefully and skillfully formulated a plan for the transformation of his idea into physical and financial reality. And then he put his plan into action with a famous speech. And most of the people told him not to give that speech, but he had such a burning desire to give it. Through that speech and afterwards, what happened, he was able to get two of the most successful people together to combine their corporations and form the United States Steel Corporation. And by combining the assets of these two corporations, he increased the appraised value of the new corporation by 600 million, which is the equivalent of $12 billion today. And those two corporations were J.P. Morgan and Andrew Carnegie's corporation. So all because this guy had a lot of great faith, and he was able to use that faith to bring these two business giants together and form the United States Steel Corporation. So remember, faith is very powerful. And if you have that faith, if you repeat through autosuggestion, powerful, constructive thoughts to your subconscious mind, day in and day out. Again, say with a lot of feeling and emotion, your subconscious mind will eventually come to believe what you are feeding it, and it will work to do whatever it can to bring it to its physical equivalent. So if you want to have a successful life, feed it those successful, positive thoughts, and it will make all the difference in the world. So those are my thoughts today about chapter 3 of Think and Grow Rich, Faith. I hope you got a lot of value. If you did, please subscribe to my channel below. This is Victor Dedaj signing off. Have yourself an amazing day. Take care and God bless.